Officially, everybody's here. Let's see, we have 8, 12, 16 people so far, 17. And my
I only
buddy
count
Huey,
12.
12.
12, okay. And my buddy Huey will be letting people in. And we're here to start the 6:30
Now there's
to 7
13.
o'clock help desk. So anybody can ask a question. Before we start, I'd like to remind everybody, and I'm sure Huey may cover this in his announcements, but there's going to be an in-person social STUG meeting at the end of August, and the date is August 27th. And it'll be at Turtle Rock, which is sort of on the south side of Sarasota. And it'll be at lunchtime from noon to 2. So you watch for notices on this. You'll have to sign up so we can get you into the gate. Okay. But that's August 27th. All right. I also want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. And I would like to now open it for questions. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to pose to the experts?
Yes, I do. Jim McIntyre.
Okay. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. I've had a lot of problems with my computer over the past, say, 10 or so days. And I've had help from a professional who tells me that the most likely cause of all this trouble is the last Microsoft update for Windows probably caused this. And there are many things that happened to me, but I can just tell you a few of them to see what you think. Number one, when it happened, my OneDrive application was moved from the F drive to the C drive. And also settings were changed in the OneDrive so that any document stored in the OneDrive would be synced with the original document. And changing either place would change it in both places. And
I've never seen OneDrive be on an F colon.
What?
So we usually C.
Should I go ahead or listen to the question? Okay. So anyway, and the problem with that was that when I changed the document in any way, it synced automatically to the OneDrive document, and there was no chance to save or not save that document. So that was a big problem for me. And then another problem was when all this stuff happened to me, a notice came on my screen that says, or said something like, a duplicate copy will be made of every document on your computer. And it proceeded to do so, and I couldn't stop it. So it created a copy of every document on my computer. And that wasn't a real bad problem for the current files because I could go there and delete the copy. But for my archive documents, which go back to as far as 30 years, that was a real problem. So to solve that problem, what I had to do was just delete the archive documents and reinstall the archive documents from a backup. And then there were a lot of other problems similar to that, but those were the two. So my question is, have any of you had a problem like that? And do you think it would be from the OneDrive, from the Windows update?
Okay, for people that have just joined us, a lot of people came in after you started your question, Jim, and I thank you for your question. But to repeat your question, if I may paraphrase, you have experienced problems that have started for you after you installed the latest Windows update. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, we're good. Now, those of you that have heard his question, are there comments or helps for Jim McIntyre, please?
I haven't experienced anything like this, so I can't have I don't have a reference.
Jim, you mentioned something about Linux.
No, I didn't say anything about Linux.
That's what I thought I heard you say.
No, nothing about Linux.
It was about
Jim?
OneDrive, I thought.
Do you use
OneDrive is the
360
main, the OneDrive is the main thing that I talked about to start with.
And did you use OneDrive before?
Yes, used it for a long time.
It sounds like the update made it the primary drive.
The only thing I could think of is if you go into Windows settings in Windows, under Windows Update History, you might be able to remove, I don't know if there is an option to remove the most recent update.
That won't
Yeah,
roll
but-
back everything else unless
Yeah,
you
that
have a
won't-
restore point prior to the update.
Right.
You could go back to that restore point prior to the update.
Okay, the bottom line is I have corrected most of the problems. But I just want to know if that actual cause was the Windows update.
I would think
Could it,
so.
could it be something else? What else could it be?
Yeah, when you're working with Word or Excel and you do a save, where does it put it?
Okay, ordinarily, if I do a save, it puts it onto my documents folder. That's where
On your
it's
C drive.
on the C
On the
drive.
On your-
Yes.
Now, do you have a documents folder on your OneDrive as well?
Yes.
And does it put it there automatically?
No, I fix it so that it doesn't do that because I don't like
Okay,
it.
that's what you have to do. You can individually make it so it doesn't save it automatically to OneDrive individually by folders, I believe. And I've done that. What happened to me is when I got a new computer and I just installed Windows, it made everything like it happened to you. It made everything a duplicate on my OneDrive, and I didn't want that at all. In fact, it wasn't even on my hard drive. It was only in OneDrive because that's what Windows wants you to do, is to have it on OneDrive and not have it on your hard drive. And so I basically wiped and started my Windows install again, and then turned off the OneDrive, the automatic OneDrive. It's still there. I can still tell a particular folder I want it to also be on OneDrive, but I can do it individually.
Yes.
But it sounds like something just made it make everything available on there.
There are settings in OneDrive that you can do that simultaneous save. But I don't like that, and I don't have that selected. Mine is set so that if I want to put something on OneDrive, I delete it from OneDrive to start with, then I go to my documents folder and copy that document and paste it into OneDrive. And that works just fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, you don't have to do it that way, but that's one way in which you can. You can tell it to go ahead and put it in OneDrive and then click on something to make it so it's also in the cloud. But the way you're doing it works fine for you. I would just leave it that way. Steve, are you trying to answer him, or do you have another question?
No, I have an answer for Kate Holmes, who was asking about how you clear
Okay,
the cache.
hang on to that till we're done
Yeah.
with Jim, and then we'll come back to you. Thank you.
Hmm.
So you don't have
Sorry.
nobody's had that problem except
No.
for me.
Under
I imagine
OneDrive, there were
somehow when you downloaded
Jim?
the latest version of
Yes, you
Windows,
solved the.
that it
but I'm-
reset everything.
I'm curious, do you have Office 365?
Yes. Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Hmm.
you do?
I do have Office 365. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, that explains it. Okay. So it wants to put it on.
Yeah, it wants it to also be on your OneDrive, so when you create a document or you're working on a document, it automatically backs up to your OneDrive, and otherwise you can save it. But if it's set to automatically back up, you can't save. That option isn't available. It's just doing it on the fly continuously.
And it sounded like you had that issue as well.
Mhm.
Well, before I didn't have I've been using OneDrive for probably 5 years or something, a long time. And it's always worked very well for me. But 10 days ago, it turned and I had a real problem trying. It took me a long time to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah,
James,
Microsoft is
I'm willing to
ahead, Bob.
bet, I'm willing to bet that you originally had username and then your documents and all the other stuff under your username. And with the update, because you have 365, it went to OneDrive username. I think that you'll find that your assignment for your user now defaults to under OneDrive, not directly on C drive, users, and then your name.
Yes, the Microsoft 365 likes to focus on OneDrive.
I don't understand what you're saying, but I've got it all fixed now by making changes in the settings so that
Good.
I can.
You're good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're just hoping the next update won't reverse those.
Yes, right. That's the big thing.
Well, we
Understand.
can't wait till next month, James, that you can report as to how you went for the next 4 or 5 weeks with the change you made to the settings.
Okay.
And Tuesdays are usually the day they do the updates.
And before I allow my machine to reboot and install updates, I take a system restore point.
I back up the
So do
whole
I always
system.
did that. Well, I'm doing backup all the time with what does it reflect? Macrium Reflect. It does
Yeah.
updates several times a day. And, incremental ones, and then main one about once a month.
Okay, let's see if we can move on. I think Kate
Steve-
Holmes asked a
Didn't Steve have
question,
an answer for someone?
and
Yeah.
somebody was going to answer Kate Holmes' question.
Yeah. Her question was, how do you clear the cache in Chrome? And the way you do it is you go up to the 3-dot menu on your Chrome browser. And
Okay,
you select settings, which is the gear one down at the bottom. And
Yep.
then over on the left side, you'll see privacy and security. You click on that.
Mhm.
And then
Yep.
underneath privacy and security, you'll see delete browsing data. That's the one you want to clear your cache with.
Right.
And I think on those settings, you have an opportunity to check a box to say that you don't want to keep something and you don't want to keep
Well,
a history.
That's
for
right. Yeah,
example.
there's 3 boxes. One is for browsing history, another is for Google or cookies and other site data, and the third one is for cached images and files.
Right,
And
if you
you
check
can also
those,
set the
then you
time
don't have to
range
go
too.
back and delete them.
And you could set the time range also, so and tell it to only delete the last 24 hours or 7 days or
Oh,
And
that's
if
good to
you
know.
if you use Seed Cleaner, you can set it up so that it will keep certain cookies and stuff, and it'll delete the other ones and then get rid of your cache from all the browsers as well.
CCleaner is a third-party program, and some people it gets more involved than they want to have it. I don't know if Kate feels that way or not, but I think clearing her cache should take care. It sounds like it should take care of her problem.
Yeah, in
If I-
my
if
case,
I-
go ahead, Kate.
If I delete my cache, do I lose all the saved passwords so I can go?
No, that's in the cookies.
no, you won't
That's
lose
not
your
in the
password.
cache.
Okay, keep the cookies, in other words.
Yeah, the cache is where it stores pages that you've visited, so that
Okay.
when you visit them again, it doesn't have to go to the site to download the page. You've already got it cached on your system, so it comes up faster.
Great. So I should.
It also introduces problems if the cache gets hooked up wrong and it shows you the wrong page. The only way you can correct that is to get rid of the cache and have it reload the pages.
Okay, so if I want to try to delete the problem with videos turning into not visuals.
Yeah,
Just to
you
get
can
rid
pretty
of,
much check all those three boxes on, and then delete the cache, and then close Google Chrome and start it back up again, and then go to your site and see if it'll play.
does that mean I lose all of the saved passwords for all the other
No,
sites that I go to?
no, that's in the
Nothing
cookies.
to do with passwords. Password is a category all by itself.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
okay. Thank you. I
And
did not
and when you
understand that.
clear your cookies, you want to make sure that you have the box that says third-party cookies. You don't want those saved at all.
Right.
That's where all your ads come from, is third-party cookies.
There's a couple of questions, Jim, in the chat box.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, quite a
first-
few, it looks like.
Yeah, let me, I'll read them off to you here. George Claxton says, can I change the IP address on my desktop, Windows 10-11? And then Drew says, yes, you can change from DHCP to static. And then he asks, what is DHCP?
Um,
Host control
so-
protocol.
In Windows, in the system tray, if you click on the, I think it's what looks like a little monitor, it'll bring up a box, and in the upper left-hand corner will be the name of your Wi-Fi that you're connected to. And if you click on the right arrow, and it'll bring up a little information box. And that'll bring you to network and internet settings where you'll see IP assignment automatic, and then you'll click edit and change it to static, to manual. You just have to make sure you set it to something that no one else is using.
Okay, and then Dave Amon has a question. I have a question about finding within the page on Chrome. If you unmute yourself, Dave.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes, I'm new to this group. What an amazing set of brains here. This is great. Had the greatest chat with you the other day, and I'm honored to be among this group. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and welcome to joining STUG. You'll find a lot of good information. All right, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, so I normally use Chrome, and when I'm searching for something within the page, a piece of text within the page, you use Control F to do that, and it says finds 5 occurrences of it, and you can count the 1 through 5 with that little box that it puts there. I have the hardest time seeing where it found it. I think the key thing that it found is orange, and then the ones that are not the key ones that you're looking at right now turn yellow. But it says it finds 5. I'm lucky if I can see 2 of those darn things. I can never seem to see it.
Usually when you're looking at in the box and it'll show there's 5 of 5 or 1 of 5, right next to it is an up arrow and a down arrow. If you click it, it'll go to the next one.
Oh, it does that, but I don't know. I can't see it on the page. It's like I can go next, next, and it's just extremely hard for me to find what it's focusing on.
Mine highlights it in orange.
Yeah, I was hoping I could change it to flashing or something like that. I've looked at a bunch of options to try to do that, but nothing seems worthwhile for making it brighter or easier to see what it found. And I can't be sure if it finds it actually within the page or if it's down below what I'm viewing and I have to scroll up and try to see it, or it's just a frustrating thing whenever I'm trying to find something.
I don't know if there's a way to change the color of the find.
Hey, you guys don't have a problem with that, huh?
No, mine is a nice bright orange.
I think mine's yellow.
It should be in Windows, I would think. On a color setting in Windows. The only trouble is, though, if you change it, you may change the color of something else that you didn't intend to as well.
Right. Truth be told, I have 5 monitors. And I put this on my far right monitor, which is a 40-inch turned portrait mode.
Hmm.
But even if I zoom in and that kind of thing, I just have the hardest time finding what it supposedly found.
Hmm.
But you guys don't have that issue, huh?
You might try adjusting the color on your monitor. And that may make a difference.
Or you could try Control A to select all the text, and then usually the one that it's highlighted it will reverse the color so it'll stand out differently.
That's an idea.
Still on the help list.
Or you know what? I just thought of something else. Maybe I should look at turning it into, what is it, the read-only mode where it eliminates all the pictures and stuff and all you've got is text, and do the find in there. That might be easier to spot as opposed to all the flashy junk that's always around the page. But yeah, I'll try Control A and see if that helps. Thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know of anything to look, search and find something. I'm used to doing it in Word and it always highlights it very clearly. And when you find something, so yeah. Okay, but we tried. Does
Yep.
anybody else have a question, please? Anybody? We have just a few minutes left. Time for 1 or 2 quickies.
That search, if you have Gemini active, you could just ask Gemini.
Oh, you know what? I just went in Chrome settings, accessibility, and there's an option that says show a highlight on the focused object, and it's off by default. And then I went back and it highlighted it in bright yellow. That might help you out.
That's typical of Drew. While we're talking and trying to butt our heads against the wall, he's doing, and he'll find something for us. Thank you, Drew.
So Drew, is this show a quick highlight on the focused object? That's what I
Yes.
see in
Yep.
Chrome.
Yes.
Yeah.
You might have done it for me, my friend. This is, yeah, I'm anxious to try it out. Thank you. That's great.
You're
Kathleen
welcome.
has her hand up.
Yes, this is on Apple Photos. If you have taken a photo in RAW, is there any way of changing the DNG back to something that you can send or email? It has so many characters, so many whatever it is in it that we can't send anything. It's too big. Is there any way to change a RAW photo to something else? Is my question.
Yes.
Kathleen, if you open up, when you do a right click on that photo and then open with and just choose Paint, which is native to Windows. Once it opens it in Paint, then you can go to Save As, and you from there can pick JPEG, PNG, whatever. And it'll then save it as what you selected. And
Right.
it'll do
She's on a Mac.
Yeah,
Ah.
she said Mac.
Chris,
Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of Mac users.
Yeah.
Chris might be able to answer.
I
Chris
use
Gould might.
Mac all the time too.
I don't think Paint would be able to open a RAW file, though, will it? Because a
Yes,
RAW
it will.
really?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay, because a RAW image is an unprocessed one.
Yeah.
But you don't have,
Unless you've got something like Photoshop, you need
don't
to
have
process
Paint on a Mac. So
Okay, this was the, somebody recommended using RAW because it was so clear, and so I used it, but now I can't do anything with it because it has too many,
yeah,
anyway.
you need to process it with something like Photoshop.
Okay, all right.
But
A
well,
raw image is like the negative from a film camera.
Are
When
you
look at a negative,
possibly referring to the file being very large in a RAW
yes,
format?
exactly.
yeah, it would be because it's
Because the RAW
unprocessed.
file doesn't have any compression.
Right, exactly.
Kathleen, this is Joan, if you send it as an email, you'll have a choice of sizes. You could email it to yourself.
Yeah,
By
but then
using the share?
whoever gets it, unless they have the software to process it, they won't be able to do anything with it either.
She could send it to herself and she'll have a smaller version.
Yeah,
Google
she doesn't
doesn't
want
let-
to,
Google
but
doesn't let me do that. That came up in the process. Google, everything is too large.
I thought you said Apple Photos.
Yes, yes. But I'm sorry, Gmail doesn't let me do that.
Use your mail program on your Mac.
Okay, I don't use Apple, but thank you. If I did, I would.
I thought you said you had a Mac. I thought
You
you
know
said
what? I'm gonna put in the chat a website called Free Convert, and you can upload a raw file and convert it to a JPEG, which will make it smaller.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yay, yay.
Yes, and I'll let somebody else go next. I keep getting myself in trouble doing things that I don't know what I'm doing.
and saving it as a raw file, you might go back to the way you were saving it before then. Might be better for you. So you don't have to convert from a raw file.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Just, as I said, it was recommended. And it does have wonderful clarity, but no, I can't do anything with it. So thank you. Thank you, Drew. My chance. Oh, yes. Saved.
And Chris may have some things during her session or during the Q&A after that.
Oh,
I just put a comment in the chat.
Yeah,
Oh,
Crystal
okay.
just answered it also.
Good. Okay. I have another question, but I will let somebody else go next. How's that?
I think you could go ahead and ask your second question, and that'll wind up our time before the 7 o'clock.
Wonderful. Okay, the other thing that I found out when doing the Apple Photo retouch is if you click the retouch and option, that it now has a circle that will copy a kind of texture. Say if you want to copy somebody's hair, instead of just making it blurred, it unblurs it and copies a piece of hair. Except I don't know how to turn this off, so that I don't know how to go back to where the iTouch photo retouch just blurs. Was
Does it have an option in there to go back to default?
there usually is a button on the iPhoto that says revert.
Revert. Okay.
Revert to-
I'll look for that. Thank you. It seems like it got stuck and I can't get back to where I can just blur things instead of copy or duplicate things.
Oh, are you trying to blur a specific spot inside the photo?
No, I was trying to copy a specific spot inside the photo so I could paste it somewhere else.
Oh.
That I understand you do by and when touching
I
retouch.
think what you have to do is click on sharing to make a copy.
I'm sorry, do what?
The options. Click on share or sharing. There'll be a little thing that says share. And then you can make a copy or do whatever you want, or you can send a message to yourself or send an email to yourself with it.
Oh, I was actually talking about the retouch on Apple Photos.
That's what I'm talking about. If you click on the image, if you're looking at the image, one of the options that you'll have is share.
Okay.
I think it looks like a little rectangle with an up arrow.
Okay. And it will take away.
It'll send it to your messages or to an email or whatever. There's a lot of different choices there.
Okay.
And usually when you share it like that, it should format it appropriately for whatever you're doing with it.
Okay, I was just trying to turn off the feature that makes you copy texture instead of the feature on retouch that just blurs it.
Retouch it. You don't want to retouch it. You just want to send it.
No, I don't want to send it.
No, she wants to instead of retouch, she wants to use the blur tool. She doesn't know how to get to the blur tool.
She wants to go back to the original.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's the tool that I'm trying to get rid of. I just learned that a tool, if you're on retouch and you if you click option and retouch, it will let you copy something that has texture and paste it somewhere else. Except I can't get rid of the option retouch texture thing. Instead of just a plain white circle, it has a black circle around the white circle.
I think if you go out and you go back into your pictures, you'll find that the original is still there. Because it doesn't usually, unless you do something weird like telling it to replace the original, normally it keeps your original. Just makes a copy.
It's the function I'm trying to fix, the technique that you do something with the retouch.
Yeah, I know, but if you get out of it and go back into it and look at go to your albums or your gallery in iPhotos, usually the original is still there.
Oh, that's not what, and I'm not explaining myself very well. So unfortunately, I wish I had more technical names for things because I'm not making myself very clear. Anyway, I will think about it again. We're at 6:59, so you're all saved from my confused question here. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your help, especially Drew. He seemed to really untie a few knots for us today. Thank you, Drew.
Yay,
Thank you all
yay.
for your attendance and asking questions. And I really appreciate that. Happy 4th of July to everybody.